For a bit of... Right, we are live on Full Time Devils YouTube. How's it going? I'm Gaz, Cheeky Sport Dave.
Come on! Yes!
I was expecting that, but it hurt my ear even more when you did it, even though I saw it coming. We're here, 3 o'clock, an hour before kickoff. We've got the United team. Me and Howson were predicting that Fellaini and Carrick would be in the team, but apparently they're not. This is the United team then. Sorry, Carrick is in the team, but let's read out the whole starting 11. David Hayes in goal, Darmian right back, Smalling Blint as the two centre-halves, Marcus Rojo is playing left back, Schneidlin and Carrick are the midfield pair. Carrick's the captain today. As they've put it out here, it looks like Lingard on the right, Mata in the middle, Marshall out on the left, and Rashford starts again. First impressions, Dave?
I think that's as strong as we could have gone, to be honest. I think it's picked up the strongest team he could have put out there. Glad to see Fellaini's not in the side at the moment, and I'm quite confident. I'm quite confident with that team. I would have liked to see Memphis get another run out, to be honest with you. But yeah, I can't complain. Can't complain.
I'm glad he's not dropped Lingard as well. I mean, Lingard had a great game in the derby, and I feel like people slag off Lingard a bit more than he deserves. Like people just say, "Oh, he's not United quality," and what's he done wrong? He's
done nothing wrong. He puts in a good shift. For United. I guess we're used to a lot more talent from that perspective. But to be honest with you, you can't pet him for the heart he's shown. He's shown a lot of heart for United, and do you know what I mean? That's all we need.
There's a lot of players who have performed worse than him as well. I'll read out the bench for you as well in case you're interested. Romero's on the bench. Fosu Mensah, love that guy. Valencia, Young, Fellaini, Ander Herrera, and Memphis. So there's a lot on the bench there, isn't there? I mean, you're just looking at that and you're thinking Ander Herrera, Memphis, the two names that jump out. And then tell you what, if we need to hold on to a lead, maybe Valencia, who does a good job at right back.
Young's back in the squad as well. I know that makes some faces, you know what I mean? But Young, he's done all right. He's done all right. End of last season, tail end of last season, he played really good for Manchester United. So he might come in tail end this season, switch him off for Lingard on the right hand side. Who knows?
I like Ashley Young as well because he works hard, but now as soon as we've mentioned him, a man who absolutely despises him has walked in, and that's Stephen Howson. Tell me about Ashley Young.
I don't despise Ashley Young, mate. I just prefer quality footballers. And I like my footballers. I don't think working hard should be a trait that we think is acceptable as on its own. I think working hard is a prerequisite. I think working hard is a given. I think being a professional and working hard is what you're supposed to do, regardless. So I don't think you can say, oh, he works hard, he should be in a team. There'd be loads of people. Mo Farah would work well hard. And how much would Mo Farah get up and down, right? It's not about that. Ashley Young is not a high-quality footballer.
I got to agree with that, 100%. However, he did put in a solid shift at the tail end of the season. I'm not saying he should start for Man United. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying he should start. Remember, Sir Alex bought him. I won't say he should start for Man United, but I think there is certain things that Ashley Young could bring to the side coming off the bench.
Like water bottles.
Yeah, and birds in his mouth. You know what I mean?
I'm not being funny. I think Ashley Young has done all right. At the end of last season, he did all right. I feel like he can do a job in this team as well if we need someone just to get it and whip it in as soon as possible. The only problem is, I know he's going to say that he's awful at crossing now, and he's going to bring up some statistics about how none of Ashley Young's crosses hit the man. All of Ashley Young's crosses go in the right area. There's just never any man to get on the end of them. Mate, they always cause problems for the defenders, and there's never a striker. Anyway, we can't get caught up on Ashley Young. Guys, get your comments in below. Get your comments in anywhere. Give us some questions. We will answer any of them, and our man Chris behind the camera will read them out to us. I've just read you the starting 11 again. De Gea starts in goal, Darmian at right back, Smalling Blint centre half, Marcus Rojo at left back, Schneidlin and Carrick as the two centre midfielders, Lingard on the right, Mata playing behind the striker, Marshall on the left, and that man Rashford up front. I'm really confident for Rashford at the minute. Chris, do we have any questions?
Yes.
Why no Memphis? That's a very good question. I feel like he couldn't drop Lingard in this game, and he's certainly not going to drop Marshall. If anything, I would have liked to see Mata dropped and Lingard have been put in the middle, and seen Memphis play on the right-hand side. But I understand why he's not done it. I feel like Lingard and Marshall deserve a place more. Guys, what do you think?
Yeah, personally, I think without anybody on the playing left back that's going to overlap, I think Memphis is going to suffer out there on the left-hand side. So we would have had to put him on the right. And as you said, because Lingard's been playing pretty decently, he's probably put him out there instead. I think because you got, like I said, as you got Rojo playing on the left-hand side, he's not a very good crosser of the ball. So on the overlap, he's got no other option but to cut inside, blockage all day.
Yeah, I agree. You're looking at players that are playing quite well in that forward three, not the striker. Obviously, he's playing very well. You're looking at players that are playing quite well in Marshall, Lingard, and Mata. So, and Mata, despite his performances can be indifferent, when he plays, he actually has got a very high output of goals and assists relative to anybody else. So you almost shooting yourself in the foot by doing that. But I do agree. I don't understand how certain players, and I'm talking about the likes of Rooney and Fellaini, have been played when they're obvious poor performances, and then you have Memphis, who plays well, and then he might have an all-right game, or he might do one silly mistake in that game, and he's given no opportunity to rectify that, and he's immediately benched, he's immediately dropped, and it's almost like before Memphis came, there was an article that I read that said Memphis likes to be referred to as Memphis instead of Depay because of his relationship with his dad, right? And in the article they said he's found a father figure in the Dutch national team in Louis van Gaal, and he would be more likely to come out with Van Gaal on the back of his shirt than he would with Depay. That was how much he felt of us as a father figure in Louis van Gaal. So is this him being too hard on that son-father figure relationship, maybe, that he demands more from him because of this close relationship? I don't know, in all honesty.
I'm going to be quite honest. I think you're looking into it far too much, mate. I think that Louis van Gaal just prefers Lingard for this particular game, and Marshall ain't going to get dropped. Any more questions, Chris? What are people saying? Should Rashford be starting every game? Well, while he's bagging, definitely. I don't think there's any reason to take him out of the team. Admittedly, if he's looking a bit tired, 18-year-olds, they can get tired after a run of games and they can wear themselves out. They can wear themselves out. But he keeps scoring. He just keeps scoring. So why would we take him out? That's my opinion. Do you agree with me, Dave?
We actually don't have any other choice, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, we could play Martial up front, but then who's going to bring? We
could put Fellaini there.
Exactly. I mean, we've hardly got that many options at the moment. And it's not only because of a lack of options, but he's doing the job. If he's doing the job, got to keep him in.
As I've said that, we've got Fellaini there. About 3 people have just walked off in disgust. Howson.
What Rashford's doing is Rashford's being ultra direct, and if you saw him coming up through the 21s and the 18s, that was all he did. He offered just unrivaled directness, and what he's doing in the first team is he's just replicated exactly the same thing that he was doing in the junior sides, and not many players do it, and certainly at United we don't do it at the moment. We have far too many players who receive the ball with the back to goal, far too many players who receive the ball flat, and all Rashford wants to do, and to an extent Lingard does as well, is pick the ball up and just run at people. And it's terrifying because you're going to draw a foul, you're going to make something happen, you're going to stick it through someone's legs and go and bury it like he did against the Michaelis in a derby. So it's dangerous. And while he's got that, I mean, he's got unbelievable acceleration. So while you've got that as an attribute, and while you've got his work rate and his attitude's fantastic. While you've got them at your disposal, play the guy. I would actually play him over Wayne Rooney at the moment because I think he's offering just something else in the team.
I think that, to be honest as well, it's an unknown entity, which a lot of teams where a lot of defenders are seeing him, and even if they've seen his past 3 games, they're not fully knowing what he's going to do. Next season will be a struggle for him because that's when the Premier League defenders are going to think, right, I know what this guy's about. But for this season, keep playing him. They don't have a clue what he's going to do.
Whilst they don't understand his play, got to play him. Got to keep, especially as he's on such form right now. It'll be stupid. It'll be foolishness to not play him.
Exactly. It would harm his confidence as well. Chris, what are people saying? What are people asking? Should Herrera be in for Carrick? So that is a big question. When I looked at the bench, I thought the only player there that definitely deserves to be in that team is probably Ander Herrera. I tell you what, I don't even think he should be in above Carrick. I think he should be in above Mata. I'd rather see Ander Herrera as that number 10 than Juan Mata at the minute. Because like we've said in the past, I think it was you, Howson, who made a really good point, or it might have been Sam, that Mata, when a game's going well for him, he's absolutely class. But when they're struggling, in a game like today where we will struggle a little bit, he tends to go missing a bit. And Ander Herrera is more of a fighter, and he's a man I'd rather see in that team. I think Carrick is in there just because I think we need an experienced captain on the pitch, personally. What do you think, Cheeky Dave?
We all know I absolutely love Ander Herrera. He's a player that plays for the badge. He's a player that, when he's playing for Manchester United, you can see that he's playing with his heart. Everything he has, and not just the fact that he's playing with his heart, but he's a player of absolute quality. So he's one person that when I look at the bench, I'm like, to be honest with you, we could have done with him on the pitch. But you know, I'm sure he's going to get a run at some stage, and I'm sure he'll be able to make some impact. A player of his quality can read the game and see where the gaps and the holes are in the game, and I'm sure that when he comes on, he's going to have an absolute impact. I'm sure of it.
Howson, Herrera. We've been talking about this topic for ages now. It's been like 12 months we've been talking about this topic, like, why is Herrera not starting? Today, Michael Carrick starts instead of him. Would he be in the team for you?
maybe not in the way we deploy with the two sort of deep midfielders, but I think in a midfield three, I think if you had someone like Schneidlin, Schweinsteiger and Herrera as a midfield three, is there any weaknesses in that? No. I think you've got a lot of fight in that, a lot of experience in that, a lot of defensive qualities in that, a lot of attacking qualities in that.
Every single quality that a midfield needs is in there.
Yeah, I can see the reasons for starting Carrick, and I could even see the reasons for starting Darmian, but two of the players that I think would make a difference today would be Varela and Herrera. Absolutely. Because of the movement that they both bring. They both look to give and go constantly, and that's how you create space, by movement and passing and a little bit of ingenuity, and I think that Darmian lacks a little bit in that, and I think Carrick at times can lack a little bit in that. He keeps the ball ticking nicely, but you never see Carrick give it an explode, do you? Ever. No. So I think that in a game like this today, where we probably will have the lion's share of possession, we probably will be giving them a lot of pressure and sitting them back, but we're also going to get hit on the break. I'd like to have seen someone with a bit more speed, I think. But who knows? Carrick could have a fine game. He's a fine footballer. He's coming to the end of his career, but he's still a very, very good footballer.
Just in case you're wondering why I'm going slightly more red, even more red than Cheeky Dave's United kit there, it's because it's got above 10 degrees in Manchester. Yeah. The sun's shining and I'm ginger. Let's read out the United team to you again in case you missed it. De Gea in goal, Darmian right back, Smalling, Blint, two centre-halves, Marcus Rojo at left back, Schneidlin, Carrick as the two centre-mids, Lingard on the right, Mata playing behind the striker, Marshall on the left, and Rashford up top. Guys, thank you very much for watching this live stream. Thank you very much for getting your questions in below. Guys, before we go, I want dead quick answer. What is your prediction? Tell me the score, Cheeky Dave.
High scoring game, 3-2 Manchester United.
Oh, 3-2, Howson.
I said 3-2 on our preview, and I've seen the teams. I think it's going to be a little bit less than that. I'm going to say 2-1.
I said 4-2 on our preview, and I definitely don't think it's going to be that anymore. I will say, you know what? I can't see us winning, but I don't want to be negative. I'll say 2-0. 2-1. 2-1 United. Go on then. Guys,
come on!
Thanks for watching. I will never get used to that.
Really is it? No centre half, what you say his Ghanaian name was? Yao. Yeah, Yao.